Bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bambolea, bambolea, porque mi vida yo
Hello,
la
I'm
prefiero.
Paul Jimenez, the Northwest Account Development Manager for Tech Wire. We are filming out of the Norwalk office out here in sunny California, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself. Hopefully you'll get to know more about me through this 10-minute brown bag exercise, and we'll go from there. I'm kind of a map geek, so I'm going to be using this map as we go along through my presentation. So as we start in the beginning of my life, I was born and pretty much almost for the most part raised in Spain. I was born in Madrid. We lived there for 4 years, and then an additional year in Barcelona. So between Barcelona and Madrid, I lived there really about 4 to 5 years. My background and my ethnicity is actually part North African and Spanish. If you know anything about Spain, there's a lot of influences, different cultures, and I'm kind of a product of all of that. When we lived in Spain, we lived actually right across the street from the the soccer team, the stadium, and I brought a jersey because I'm a big World Cup fan and love my Spanish national team. This jersey actually needs to be updated because every time they win a World Cup, there'd be a star. So this is a little bit of an older jersey, but it's an important part of who I am, and Spain has always been just a huge part of my life. Growing up as a child, my grandfather actually used to send us to Spain with my brother, my whole entire family every summer, and it was just an incredible experience. He actually, and we still have a family home about an hour and a half north of Barcelona, a small little town and a home that he built in the 1950s. So it's been part of the family for a very long time and has an incredible importance to me growing up as a kid. Still go back, as a matter of fact, I take our kids there. We've been there a couple times, and they're hopefully going to experience the same thing that I have. So if I were to choose between one or two of the Spanish teams, it would be Barcelona. Barcelona is where all of my family live, and this is, for me, is definitely the team. People always ask me between Barcelona and Madrid, it would have to be Barcelona. They have a great team, very almost some of the best talent in the world, and love to go to games there too. So after living in Spain for 4 years, we moved to New York City, where I went to elementary school and high school. Pretty much spent my formative years through my teenage years in New York, the Big Apple. In high school, I was very much into sports. Played high school ball, basketball, a lot of street ball around the city. I would go try to test my skills in other boroughs, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, downtown, uptown, Harlem, wherever, just to see how I stacked up against the talent in New York City. After my senior year, as a matter of fact, my senior year, we did go to the ISAL championship game. I was captain of my high school team, and we won the championship that year. So it's an extremely proud moment for myself. Put a lot of focus into getting to that point, and I was very proud of that. At that point, I was recruited by a D3 basketball squad up in New Hampshire. Played a couple years of Division III ball up there in New Hampshire. So that's where I ended up going to college. I was very fortunate enough to actually spend a semester abroad. Spent about 4 months in West Sussex, which is just outside of London. One of the best experiences that I've ever had in my collegiate years, and then came back after graduating from school and college, came back to New York City. During my 20s and 30s, my career was really in recruiting. I was a recruiter for a long period of time before moving to the West Coast. Didn't like the cold weather, decided that I would move to somewhere similar to New York City, and the closest to that was San Francisco. I actually moved there with a job and ended up going to the Bay Area. But just one more thing I forgot to mention New York. Let me backtrack a little bit. Big New York Knicks fan. This is an old Starks jersey. Horrible team right now, but is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and big New York Knicks fan. I even brought a little Statue of Liberty. This is one of the little things that I brought back. I brought my niece one of these little trinkets or whatever. So in 2000, I moved out to the West Coast. Started my career in sales. Worked in the Bay Area for 10 years. Did a lot of still athletic stuff, a lot of mountain biking, jogging, running. Still continue doing a lot of basketball stuff like that to keep myself active and things like that. In 2009, from the Bay Area, the company that I worked with relocated me down to Southern California, where I met my beautiful wife and got married. And have a great family and 3 little boys that we're raising now, 2 of which are twins, and probably aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think if I keep on going every 10 years, 3,000 miles west, I'll end up somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somewhere by the time I retire. That's at least is the plan. No, I think for now, I think I'm going to stay where I am. One of the things that I like to do is big triathlete. I joined a coaching squad, SBR Coaching, back in November of last year. Wasn't very happy with my results. I do sprint distances, and just thought I needed to pick up some advice, and took on some coaching, and really have been able to increase my timing and get up in my age bracket. So I've been very excited about that. So love to swim, bike, and run. I have done 7 of these things. I brought in some of my these medals, and every time after a race, what I do is I give each one of my sons a medal. So it really isn't for me, it's really for them to hopefully do the same thing that I'm doing, is live a healthy lifestyle. And so that's right there. Not really going to go into my results, but there's one of the things that I decided that I was going to do is when I do these things, is it was very competitive and wanted to improve my time, and that team has really helped me do that. So that's my life in a nutshell. Now you know a little bit more about me.
Nigga, I be spiked out. I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.